What up, everybody? How's it going? Oops, excuse me. This is yours truly, Rama Screen, covering movies, TV, and entertainment. And this is a live stream editorial or commentary opinion, if you will, on a news that happened recently. This usually is part of Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live. But since we're not going to have Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live this Sunday because this Sunday is the Oscars, um, I gotta talk about it right now. So this is a topic that just happened, I think, this past couple of days, and I want to lay out my thoughts about it to you guys. I want to give you the context first, and then give you my thoughts or opinions about it, and then I'm curious to hear you. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it as well. So please chime in when you can in the comment section below. All right. So as you all know, this is not secret anymore. This is not something that's on a DL. It's very highly publicized that Sony Pictures is developing a brand new Ghostbusters movie that's going to be written and directed by none other than the son of the director of the original two Ghostbusters movies. Um, Ivan Reitman's son, Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman is the guy who gave us such films as Juno. What else? Labor Day, Young Adult, uh, Tully, last year's Tully. That's also Jason Reitman, and one of my favorites, Up in the Air, starring George Clooney and Anna Kendrick. Um, excuse me. Sorry, lunch. I just had lunch, so I keep burping from time to time whenever I talk a lot after lunch. So I apologize. So, um, and this movie, this new Ghostbusters, plans to treat the franchise as if the 2016 Ghostbuster never existed. So it's gonna be more of a follow up to the first two Ghostbusters, original Ghostbusters films, and it will not have anything to do. It will not have anything to do with the 2016 film, which was directed by Paul Feig, and it starred Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, Melissa McCarthy, and Kristen Wiig as the Ghostbusters. The original cast members actually showed up in that 2016 movie, but they played different characters, completely different characters, not the ones that they played in the original. Of course, minus Harold Ramis, because Harold Ramis sadly passed away, I think, in 2014. Um, so that's the context, right? That's the refresher. That this project is coming. It's a reboot. They even released a teaser, and that Sony wants the movie to be out by 2020, by 2020 next year. So we can hope the production to start sometime this year, and they haven't really announced the lead cast members yet, or at least the key four. Um, I'm guessing right now Reitman is still in the process of developing the story and whatnot. So that's where we are. And recently, Jason Reitman had a conversation with, I believe, the playlist, and it went viral. These past 24 hours, it went viral because the playlist focused in on a quote that he said that I think is pretty substantive. Now, people have said, "Oh, the playlist is trying to clickbait." They're trying to clickbait. They're just, take this one line out of context. But that, in my opinion, is like it actually says a lot. It's not necessarily clickbait. A clickbait will be something that misdirects or misleads in order for you to entice people to click on your stuff. This actually is what Jason Reitman literally said. So let me quote here so I don't put words in his mouth, so to speak. I'm just going to quote him here about the new Ghostbusters. I'm not going to quote the whole excerpts, just the thing that stands out and gets people all riled up. It says here, or he said, Jason Reitman said, and I quote, This is going to be a love letter to Ghostbusters. I love this franchise. I grew up watching it. I consider myself the first Ghostbusters fan. I was like 7 years old when the movie came out, and I love it. I want to make a movie for my fellow Ghostbusters fans. And then he said here, he and I quote, he's not making. Sorry, guys, I'm feeling under the weather. I apologize. Jason Reitman says he's not making the Juno of Ghostbusters movies, because Reitman made Juno, and Juno is a coming of age kind of tale. And he said that the quote that got everybody all riled up, and he said some. I think he said that this movie, uh, I'm, it's gonna give Ghostbusters back to the fans. That's his quote. That this reboot is gonna bring or give Ghostbusters or hand Ghostbusters back to the fans. Um, and that's the one that got everybody's hair like, oh my god, on fire, outrage, right? How dare he? How dare Jason Reitman? Like, what is he thinking? Especially we are living in this era of social justice warrior. So, everybody's like, oh my God, 2016 movie was groundbreaking because it's a sign of female empowerment, feminists. We have female leads as Ghostbusters. Jason Reitman just wants to dial the hour back and reverse it again. What is going on? Like, I was like, take a breath, everybody, please. Let's dissect this. Let's dissect this. Let's analyze this. See if we can pick nuances about this. And I think we can. Okay. And I have opinions about it. And if you disagree with it, let me know in the comment section below what you think of this whole controversy or topic, if you will. So number one, point one. Oh, by the way, before I get to point one, I just want to share with you real quick before I forget Leslie Jones' tweet reaction, because this is not tweet reaction to Jason Reitman's comment, but this is Leslie Jones' reaction to when this Ghostbusters reboot was announced, and Leslie Jones is among those people who are like, "Oh my God, they're rebooting it! Like, what's wrong with the 2016 movie, huh? You sexist!" So Leslie Jones says this, and I quote, "So insulting. Like, fuck us. We didn't count. It's like something that Trump would do. Trump, and then he's parentheses Trump's voice. Leslie Jones kind of, impersonating Trump here. Gonna redo Ghostbusters. Better with men. Will be huge. Those women ain't Ghostbusters." And Leslie Jones continues in her tweet. So annoying. Such a dick move. And I don't give a fuck. I'm saying something. So, okay, I'm just sharing with you what Leslie Jones' reaction was to the news that Ghostbusters was going to get rebooted by Sony Pictures and Jason Reitman. Okay, so point one. To the argument like, oh my God, why the need for another new Ghostbusters movie? Like, especially the one that behaves as if the 2016 movie is not in the same cinematic universe. I'm like, duh, yeah, it's not in the same cinematic universe. The original cast members played completely different characters in that movie. So, and it's not an uncommon thing anymore. Like, for example, let's give an easiest example here. Joaquin Phoenix is gonna star in this movie, The Joker, right? It's Todd Phillips' interpretation of the origin of the Joker. It has a lot of Kings of Comedy and not Kings of Comedy, the King of Comedy and Taxi Driver feel to it. At least that's what I've read, that it's gonna have that vein at least. So it's an interpretation of the Joker that's gonna be separate from the DC Cinematic Universe Joker that's currently played by Jared Leto. That is, of course, if Jared Leto still has a job. if uh, if he still has the job, or maybe WB is thinking about replacing him there too. Um, so that's one example that I can think of right now. The easiest, most relevant, most current one, where two big screen Joker movies can exist in two separate cinematic universe under one umbrella. Um, so it's not an uncommon thing. It's actually more common than you think. I can't think of other examples right now. Um, so the idea of like, oh, why can't they just continue or follow up the 2016 movie or sequelize it? Why do they have to have another that's separate? Like, just um, why not? Again, it's not an uncommon thing. Now, I tweeted about this, um, and I think one of the tweets from the fans out there. Uh, well, you know what? Before I get to that, that's probably point three. So I just want to get to point two first. So point one, two movies existing in separate cinematic universe, but under one umbrella of IP or property. That's not uncommon. That can happen. So it's not really a big argument there. Number two, uh, treating or behaving as if certain previous installments never existed. That is also not an uncommon practice. Um, if you recall Superman Returns in 2006, that movie behaved or treated the Superman franchise as if Superman 3 and Superman 4 never existed. It was a direct follow up to Superman 2, basically. Um, Another example is the upcoming Terminator movie, the brand new Terminator movie that marks the return of Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor. That one is going to treat it as if Terminator Genesis never happened. So, and dude, you and me would love it if Terminator Salvation, the one that was directed by McGee and starred Christian Bale, we would love it if that was wiped out or wiped away from our memories forever, because that one was shitty. So, um, the outrage over like, oh my god, you're dismissing the 2016 Ghostbusters. Um, yeah, there's some validity to that. You can say that Sony and Jason, by doing this or making this Ghostbusters, they kind of dismiss the 2016 movie. But again, it's not an uncommon practice. Other movies, other properties, other studios have done it. So that's point number two. Um, which leads us to point number three, Jason Reitman's comment. Um, Giving the movie back to the fans. Now, before I give you what Ryman says, because he backpedals, he actually kind of like, oh, whoa, 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 because he notices all the backlash and he's like, oh my god, oh my god, I that's not what I meant to say. Before I give you what he tweeted out, the quote that this is gonna give Ghostbusters back to the fans, whether or not he intentionally throws shades at 2016 movie. You can probably argue like, hey, Rama, he didn't really mean what he said. Like he kind of misspoke. Like, oh, giving it back to the fans. Not necessarily dismissing or belittling 2006. Even if that's the case, I think that's still the wrong quote to go about it. I think Jason Reitman, for that split second, has a moment of like, holy crap. Because here's the thing. That quote implies that the 2016 movie was not made with the fans in mind. It implies that writer director Paul Feig, sorry, the motorcycle's kind of loud here, that writer director Paul Feig and the stars Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig and I'm sorry, did I say Kristen Wiig? Kate McKinnon. I said Kristen Wiig twice. And Leslie Jones. that quote implies that they made that whole entire 2016 movie um, with the intention of not honoring the franchise or fans of the franchise. And I think and that's whether or not, again, with Jason Reitman intentionally says it, or maybe just a slip of a tongue. You could say it's just a slip of a tongue. It's still, it has a bad optic. Do you see what I'm saying? It has a bad tone to it. Now, what I said earlier, I'm gonna bring it up now. One of the fans on Twitter actually tweeted at my tweet because I tweeted out, so like, well, it's a bit unnecessary for Jason Reitman to say that. And the fans said, because I said, like, it implies that the 2016 movie was not made with the fans in mind. And then this one fan says, yeah, it was not made with the fans in mind. It was made just because of gender, because they want to have an all female Ghostbusters. Let me get the right exact quote for you. So basically, what he's saying is like, yeah, Rama, duh. Of course, it was not made with the fans in mind. What are you trying to say? Um, they made that whole 2016 movie just so they can have just so they can cater. There you go. Just so they can cater to a gender, and now we have it twice. Now it's back to catering it to the men again. Um, that's what he said here. I would have to disagree with that. Now, I don't know what's in the hearts of Paul Feig or everybody involved with the 2016 movie. I'm not going to speculate. But also speculating the fact, oh my God, they have this malicious intention. They're making the 2016 movie just for feminist power, and they don't give a shit about the fans of Ghostbusters. That's also making it a little bit too much. Like they have some malicious intention to like rebrand Ghostbusters just for the hell of it. I would have to disagree. Um, Another point to that argument is that why the hell not? Now, when the movie comes out, the movie came out in 2016. When the movie came out, I saw it at the screening and I was not a fan of it. And I've mentioned to you this, I think, before when I talked about Ghostbusters franchise, in that my problem with the movie is not that it's all female led team, but that the writing was terrible. The jokes did not land 80% of the time. On top of the fact, Chris Hemsworth went full stupid, right? To quote Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder movie, you never go full retard. I know the R word's supposed to be taboo now. I apologize, but you never ever go full stupid. And Chris Hemsworth's character went full stupid. So there's nothing appealing or funny about him, and he's supposed to be the comic relief, and everybody else as well. Just the jokes are a mess. The storyline was just not appealing, and I don't get a sense of a team. So my problem with the movie is the movie itself. It's not necessarily that the four leads are women. So, but to my point, it's like, why not? Why the hell not? Why can't we have a four female-led Ghostbusters movie? I mean, One Day at a Time series. I think Norman Lear created that in the 70s. One Day at a Time in the 70s was full-blown white people, right? One Day at a Time right now is a Cuban American immigrant family, Latinos. Why not? Why can't we have that? I say bring it on. Like in 2019, why can't we have a diverse interpretation of a familiar franchise or a familiar property? Who are you to say that, oh my God, Ghostbusters can only be white and white only, or Ghostbusters can only be men and men only? If in the near future they're gonna reboot Ghostbusters again, and the team members, some of them, I don't know, Latinx or transgender, what have you, why not? We should welcome that. So I don't see the big problem with the identity politics part of it, because Because I think the fans are full of purists and diehards. Like these are the same fans I think that when Heath Ledger got cast as the Joker, they're like, oh my god, we can't have the Brokeback Mountain, gay cowboy dude playing the Joker. That's not right. It's like, and then after Ledger plays the Joker and the movie came out, everybody's like, oh, they all worship Heath Ledger now. To them, there's no other Joker but Heath Ledger. So it's just like there's no pleasing these people. There's no pleasing these purists. So uh back to the point again. The problem with 2016 movie for me is not that it has female led. It's just the movie itself was just terribly written, terribly done. And I'm a huge fan of Paul Feig. I love his other movies, Bridesmaids and The Heat. There's something about Ghostbusters in 2016 that just he I think they dropped the ball in terms of the story in that one. Um, Paul Feig himself actually okay, so let me give you Jason Reitman's backpedaling. All right, as I'm concluding this video. So Jason Reitman's like, whoa, 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 what's all these backlash? Oh my god, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. So he said this, and I quote on his tweet: "Whoa, that came out wrong. I have nothing but admiration for Paul and Leslie and Kate and Melissa and Kirsten and the bravery with which they made Ghostbusters 2016. They expanded the universe and made an amazing movie." And then Paul Feig, seeing that his friend Jason Reitman's being um, attacked online by the fans, Paul Feig also gives some support, and he tweeted out, "Jason was a supporter of mine at a time when I couldn't get much." Let me repeat that. Jason was a supporter of mine at a time when I could not get movies made. He has always been a true gentleman to me and a supporter of Ghostbusters. Answer the call. I can't wait to see his take on the Ghostbusters universe. Big love and respect to you, Jason, your fan, Paul. So that's sweet. That's endearing. That's all. Like, and that's good. That's good. Now, so to conclude this, it's unwarranted what Jason Reitman said. It's unwarranted, and I'm glad he backpedals. And maybe this is his way of apologizing. But we'll accept that. We'll accept that. He doesn't need to continue trying to explain himself. But it's still unwarranted. Like the whole giving it back to the fans, like giving it back to the fans from what? Like if, for example, right? If, for example, if there was a Ghostbusters 3 and 4, like Superman 3 and 4, or if there was a Ghostbusters Genesis, like Terminator Genesis, or Ghostbusters Salvation, like Terminator Salvation, then yes, that quote would make sense, right? Giving it back to the fans. Like we're making this reboot as if Ghostbusters 3 and 4 or Ghostbusters Salvation, Ghostbusters Genesis never existed. But there had only been 3 Ghostbusters installments. And in the reports, when it was announced that they're going to make this reboot, it says that we're going to treat it as a follow up to the original first 2 movies. So when you say that giving it back to the fans, you are implying that you're giving it back to the fans as if the 2016 movie took it from the fans or took it away or ripped it from the fans or like dishonoring or disrespecting fans or the franchise itself. You see what I'm getting? So like giving it back from what? There's only been 3 installments. Giving it back from what? Ghostbusters 2? That the one that you're implying that made a mistake or fumbled? So whether or not he intentionally says that, whether or not he intentionally says it in a malicious way, which I don't think he did. It has bad connotations and it has bad optics. So it's not warranted. I don't think he should have said that. But now that he backpedals and he kind of, says, hey, I respect Paul Feig, and that's fine. I think we should totally move on because I really want I want to see this new Ghostbusters movie. I don't care if it stars men only or women only or men and women or trans, characters, whatever. I just want to see Ghostbusters back. I love this franchise. I love these characters. Um, who you gonna call, man? Who you gonna call? So much fun and exciting, and I hope the script this time around, is much better done than the 2016 movie. It's always got to be about the story, right? You gotta really, before everything else, work on the story. That's my thing. That's like the holy grail, before you add other ingredients. So and I hope Jason Reitman can give us a story worth honoring his father's IP, because this is pretty much, he's continuing his father's legacy, and hopefully it's something that will be fun to all the fans, not just fans of the franchise or the purists and the diehards that are stubborn, but also fans of movies in general who may not have been crazy about Ghostbusters. And I think Reitman's gonna do a fantastic job. I can't wait to see his interpretation of Ghostbusters. So that's my long rant. Those are my thoughts about this topic, this controversy. What do you guys think? Do you think that Jason Reitman was in the wrong for saying those words or those comments? Do you think that this project should not have existed in the first place? Do you think they should have? Do you think instead that they should have sequelized the 2016 movie? Um, are you on the side of Leslie Jones, who are you on the side of Leslie Jones, who feels? Excuse me, let me repeat that. Are you on the side of Leslie Jones, who strongly feels that this reboot minimizes the 2016 movie that she did or she starred in? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to hear your opinions about it. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, and if you can help support Rama Screen channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. I'll be back again later tonight with my live stream review of Star Trek Discovery new episode. Let's rock this.